What's up, guys? Welcome back to Everyday Money. We're trying a light theme in here. I've done kind of a dark theme for the most part, but I'm trying this light theme today. Leave me a comment whether you like the light or the dark better. With all the stimulus talk that's been going on, it seems like everyone has forgotten about tax refund season. And yeah, it's that time of the year where a lot of folks are going to be getting a refund from their tax overpayment that could be several $1,000s. And even though most folks say that it would be better if you try to get back $0, most people don't do that, and they end up with a refund of some sort. And a lot of folks just like having that money coming to them as sort of like a forced savings account, sort of like a bonus, even though they did loan all of that money out to the government over the year, interest free, and they have been able to do with it what they please. So when you get this money back, there's always a feeling of it's burning a hole in your pocket, and you need to buy whatever item that you've had your sights on for a while that's more than you may have on hand at any given time. But before you do that, let me give you a few tips on ways that you can use this money, these thousands of dollars that you otherwise wouldn't have gotten in your monthly income, so that you can get yourself to a little bit better of a financial situation or just put you ahead a little bit overall. So the number one thing right now, it's probably on everyone's mind still from 2020 and now has rolled into 2021, is just being able to afford to live with this coronavirus pandemic going on. A lot of folks have been waiting for stimulus checks. The last one took like 9 months to get together, and it was only like $600 per person. And if you've been out of work the entire year through no fault of your own, that is kind of a small deal to fix a problem that is a big deal. So right now, people are waiting for this $1,400 stimulus check that the Biden administration has promised everyone, especially the folks that have been out of work for a while. But who knows if that is going to be done in a reasonable amount of time. But if you get this tax refund, it is essentially like your own stimulus check, and you can use that right now in order to survive and just pay the bills that you may have to pay, put food on the table, get medications, anything that you need to do on a day-to-day basis that you normally would be able to do easily, but now, again, through no fault of a lot of people's own, cannot do because the government has imposed these restrictions on the economy. The next thing that you can do with your refund check is create some sort of emergency fund for yourself. It's not hard to get on the internet and see that most Americans don't have somewhere between $500 and $1,000 in order to cover emergencies that might come up in their lives. And if you don't have that money and you do have things that come up, like you say you get a flat tire, or your air conditioner or furnace goes out, or you have some sort of unexpected medical bill, or really anything that can come up in life and oftentimes cost several hundred or thousands of dollars, it's a big problem if you don't have that money sitting around ready to be deployed at a moment's notice. So if you are getting several hundred or several $1,000s, maybe take some of that money and start yourself a little bit of an emergency fund so that you can be ready to deal with these things as they come up. Emergencies are never fun, and even for people who are have that emergency fund and are ready for that, it's still frustrating. But it's better for something to be frustrating than a total financial panic because you cannot use the vehicle that you have now to get to work to make ends meet because there is a $200 tire that needs to be replaced that you don't have the money for. The third thing that you can do is that you can pay yourself. And I always recommend people paying themselves first anytime they get any amount of money, whether it's from their paycheck, a stimulus check, a tax refund check, a birthday check from your mom or dad or grandpa or whatever, is to go ahead and pay yourself. Pick an amount that you want to take out of these items and put that away and invest it for your future. For me, I do 20% because that is what works for me, and I try to increase that over time. But if you can only pick a dollar amount like 10 or $50 or 5 or 10, 15, 20%, something like that, anything that you can take and invest and make it work for your future self will thank you for. Now, if you don't have any type of investment account or anything like that set up, you can use this money that you got that's not that you're not used to getting on a regular basis and take that money and start an investment account. There are tons of free and very low fee index funds that you can get into that have very predictable returns, that are very easy to research and decide on, and are very diversified and pretty safe. that you can easily invest that money into in order for it to work for you in the future. And just right now, if you're getting hundreds or thousands of dollars that you weren't counting on, is a great time to do that. And then you don't have to take money out of your regular income to do that. The fourth thing that you can do with money from a tax refund is pay down some debt. This is something that a lot of folks, I think, put on their New Year's resolutions. They want to get fit, they want to pay down debt, and several other things that are pretty classic New Year's resolutions. But if you have several $1,000s of credit card debt, if you are in student loan debt, if you have a vehicle that's close to being paid off, you can use this money to pay those things off. Especially those of you out there who are struggling with student loan debt and credit card debt. If you get a $3,000 tax return, that can be a big chunk of money to put towards that. Because a lot of times credit cards especially have like 24% annual interest. That's 2% per month. And if you have $2,000 or $3,000 in credit card debt, you can use your hundreds or thousands that you get from your tax refund in order to pay that off. Or if you have more than that, if you're 6 or 9 or 10, you can at least knock out a third or half of that all in one fell swoop. And then that may give you the motivation to continue to pay those off, and so that you can rid yourself of that debt burden from credit card debt. In addition, I hear all the time how people are in tens of thousands of dollars of student loan debt. And you may think, well, $3,000 isn't going to do anything on my $30,000 student loan debt that's crushing me. Well, it's 10%. If you could get 10% of your student loan debt forgiven, I'm sure that you wouldn't say no to that. But you can forgive 10% of your own $30,000 student loan debt with a $3,000 tax return if you want to do that. And again, I just highly recommend paying down high interest debt, things that are 5, 6, 7% or more before you invest your money into investment accounts, because those interest rates at 5, 6, 7, 24% are going to be instantaneous returns that you are not paying out every month. For example, on $1,000, you are going to pay $240 a year or $20 a month in just interest alone. So you can save $24 a month by just going ahead and paying off that $1,000 on a credit card that is at a 24% interest rate. And last, you can use this for needed items that are needed things that you have been putting off that aren't necessarily 100% critical, but now you have just some extra cash for them and you can get those things done. For example, like if your car is needing new tires, this is the perfect time for you to take this money and put that into that vehicle, especially if it's your primary means of getting to work and back. If it needs new brakes or something like that. If you have an appliance that's on its way out, this is a perfect time to take money that you didn't necessarily count on every month and use that to get these things squared away so that you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about the washing machine breaking down. Maybe you need to have a window repaired or something that's just going to cost more than, just like $100 or $200, maybe, several $1,000s that you've been putting off because you either don't have the money or you don't feel like paying for it. And this is a perfect time that you get a chunk of money that you weren't expecting to just take care of these issues and get them out of your brain space. So there you go, guys. That is 5 good ways I think that you can use your tax refund check to maybe take care of some items that you've been putting off, maybe get yourself in a better financial position, or maybe just make it from now until when there is some coronavirus relief that's distributed to the masses. If you guys like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up for me. Be sure to subscribe to this channel to grow your wealth, increase your success, put you on the road to financial freedom. Be sure to leave me a comment whether you like this light mode studio versus the dark mode that I've been using for almost all the rest of my videos. I just figured change something up here and see how people like it. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you in the next one.